Hi everybody, woohoo! Here we are. I hope you guys can enjoy this. It's going to be a bit of a fun. We're going to be going through liquid loans, and we're going to look at the context of liquid loans. What is it? How to benefit from it. We're also going to have a look at some strategies around it with the well-known Hoarded strategy. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're also going to look at the sacrifice as well. And then at the end, we're going to have a quick talk about Hedron, and we're going to talk about Hedron in another video. So that's a different product altogether. So we're going to look at that. So I hope you guys enjoy this, folks. They've got a nice poll up and running as well. Will you do a sacrifice for liquid loans when it opens? We've got yes, I've done my research. Nope, I have. Nope, I have done my research. And number 3, maybe still researching. And number 4, I'm happy with my Pulse and Pulse X. So you're a RH Maxi. So those are the options there, folks. To get into there and vote. Very, very cool. Welcome, of course. Hope you're having a good time. Now, it is the first time I've done a live stream at this time of day. In New Zealand here, it is Friday, 11 a.m. So we're in the future here. Friday, 11 a.m. It is super sunny outside. And so yeah, it's going to be fun to do this. Normally I do the live streams in the afternoon here, so there's a bit of different as well. Let's get into the some of the comments. So obviously the Mile High mercenaries in the house. Pumped for this, another sacrifice. I'm on the verge of self-combustion with all these endless opportunities to make money. So nice one on there. Welcome. And of course we got Luke Wild in the house. Have you looked at the Hebron? Oh, Hebron, I guess it's Hedron token for holding staked Hex here. So we're going to briefly touch that at the end of this live stream, but that's really another topic, and we'll look at that on another live stream, which we're going to do. So it's going to be cool. And Kadana TV's in the house. Hey, woohoo! This is Kadana TV. I love it. I love it. Great to see Kadana TV. And I got Alex, our head moderator, in there too. Superman early edition. Hey, I like that. You come up with some good lines there, Alex. Very, very cool. All right, so let's get into it. I've got a few people jumping in here at the moment. So morning all, sack, says Brownie, absolutely, and John Carreri, one of our channel members. Hi, bro. Out ND about today. Won't be watching the stream. Hey, the good thing about YouTube there, John, is you can always watch it later. So catch you later. Enjoy yourself. You know it's sunny here in New Zealand, so enjoy yourself for sure. Michael says a good early morning from Thailand. When you pay back a loan, do you pay back the coins borrowed or the equivalent USD amount borrowed? So we're going to look all into that at the moment. So basically, the USDL is backed by Pulse, so you get $1 of Pulse to pay back the Pulse that you've collateralized against. So that's I guess a quick answer to that one. Let's have a look at, let's get into it, folks. So here we are. I'll pull up my studio. I actually lost my studio again. Let me pull this up. And so here we are on liquid loans. So I'll make sure that all the links are in the video description after the video. I think I've only got the basic ones in there. I'm not sure if I think I may have put in all the links. I can't remember now. I did it last night. So I think the links are in there. Hex price looking good, above 24 cents. Oh man, I didn't even check, Alex. I haven't even checked. Can you believe it? Haven't even checked the Hex price. But we'll look at the Hex price maybe at the end of the live stream. But wow. Normally that's the first thing I do is I check Hex. For some reason, it's just kind of that's the way. So normally in the morning I go through all the different things and have a look. But I didn't do it today because I was doing this live stream. So nice one. That's a really nice move to 24. So cool. All right, so let's have a look here. We're on liquidloans.io, liquidloans.io. Now, this has been a bit of the talk of the town, and we're going to look at why that might be as well. So very cool. So basically, it's 0% interest-free. So it's very, very cool. We all like interest-free stuff, and basically, you're going to take a loan against your own Pulse tokens. So if you've done the PulseChain sacrifice, or if you buy them on the market, you'll be able to basically put that in on put it in on Pulse. Put it in on liquid loans, and then you'll be able to get yourself some US dollars that you can get out of their USDL. So that's pretty much how it's going to work. We're going to look at that in full, but that's pretty neat, 0%. And it's different from a margin trading when you actually borrow money and you're leveraging against that. So it's very different. This time you're taking your own money rather than someone else's money, taking your own money. And this is technically a lot safer, of course. So it's really cool. So like if you had a house and then take a loan out in your house, It's kind of like that, rather than you going and borrowing money and taking and leveraging that up. Maybe you borrow 5 times the amount of money you need, and of course, if the prices go against you, you're in big trouble. That kind of thing, like margin trading on centralized exchanges. All right, so that's pretty cool. Liquid Loans is the first truly decentralized lending protocol built specifically for PulseChain, algorithmic stablecoin, low 110%. That's an interesting thing. So the stablecoin is decentralized rather than centralized one, and like USDC, USDT, centralized, and decentralized like DAI, and like USDL, which is going to be the stablecoin on this platform. That's really, really cool. Decentralized is the way to go. Low 110% collateral ratio. That's the kind of the riskiest one you can take. And of course, a no recycle schedule, mutable, and that's very important. Okay, so once the contract is up and running, that's it. It's there's no one that can do anything to it. It's up and running. It becomes goes on a life of its own, and therefore demand and supply are really up to the market for that product. Basically, that it's governance free as well, and no admin keys. Very, very important. So that's cool. And of course, it's interest-free loan against your own assets, and there's no repayment schedule, so you can pay that back as you wish. It all depends. The key number that you want to care about is the collateral ratio. That's the key one that you actually want to always focus on. So that's pretty cool. So really, really cool. No admin keys, government's free and immutable. We love it. And of course, it's got some audits that believe, and it's going to have some more around that too. Let's have a look at the user interface. Oh, there is obviously a video and a white paper. You can read those in your own time as well. All the links are on the website here. Here's a cool look. I like to look at the visual side first. So we just had a brief sort of talk about what the basic features are, what it basically does. Basically 0% interest-free loan, pretty nice, and it's against your own assets. The contract itself will just run on the chain, so very, very cool. So here it is, Liquid Loans interface here. It's got pretty nice. It's got a vault here. It's got a stability pool. It's got staking. It's got liquidity, analytics. So this was a draft. They may have, I don't know if they've done any UI changes. Typically, they often do UI changes before it launches, depending on what they're doing. You can basically, on the vault, you can deposit your PLS. That's the basic function. So if you got Pulse from the PulseChain Sacrifice, or if you buy it on the market, once PulseChain's live, you can you can deposit here with PLS, and then you can also borrow. That's where you borrow your USDL, so your stable coin. You confirm that, of course. So you got the details down here: deposit, liquidity reserve, the borrowing fee. So the borrowing fee looks like it's going to be like between 0.5% and higher. So we're going to check that out later. So receive, you'll get your amount that you're going to receive and your total debt at the bottom there, which includes the borrowing fee. And then you're going to have the most important number that there is, and that's the collateral ratio. So whatever that's going to be. So 110 is kind of risky, very risky, and 1,000% is probably where you want to stay. That's like in the pocket. That's kind of like borrowing 10% of your collateral assets, something like that. You got the protocol stats over here. This is just for the whole sort of the global stats. You got TVL locked, active vaults, how many people are active on it. It's pretty neat to see that. Total collateral ratio. This is very important, the total collateral ratio. If it falls below 150%, then any collateralization that people have under 150% could get liquidated, rather than under 110%. So it's very important to keep that ratio. So the collateral ratios are the most important thing on the platform from a risk management point of view. And then, of course, got USDL supplies, how many stable coins are in play. How many are in the stability pool, how many staked loans are there, and also recovery mode PLS. So it's got lots of cool things, and you probably have to get more familiar with that. So very, very cool. So with liquid loans, you never have to sell your pulse, and that's kind of the thing. You get to keep your pulse, and you ride through the cycles as long as your collateral ratio is cool, and the market doesn't do anything absolutely perverse with the price, like a 99% correction, something like that. Depending on your collateral level, then that's the really cool. And you basically can go buy your car, you can go and buy more Pulse or more PulseX or whatever you want to do, and you don't have too much worry there. So very, very nice. So 0% interest rate. Liquid loans charges a small one-time fee to borrow USDL instead of a highly variable interest rate loans often found borrowing. So imagine that you got your own asset, you can go borrow against it. You don't have to go to a bank in the real world or this or that, and have all the issues, get charged overrated fees, high interest rates, and all the rest of it. So it's pretty neat. And of course, one USDL will equal $1. Borrow USDL, a fully backed stablecoin pegged to the US dollar that's maintained by an algorithmic monetary policy. And once again, you think about the collateral as everyone's putting their pulse on it, kind of asset backed, backing this platform, right? 110% collateral ratio, efficient and fully autonomous liquidation mechanisms allow users to get their most liquidity for the PLS. So very, very cool. We're just having a look at the website, of course, if you've just come on here. Pretty neat. So we're just having a look at the high level benefits. It's often better just to look at the simple side of it and think about that first. So key benefits: interest-free borrowing, low collateral loan, a ratio 110%, immutable, non-custodial, no admin keys. These are all very important. Governance-free, algorithmic monetary policy, censor resistant, hard price floor, and growth incentives. So it's pretty nice. Also, I like the look on the mobile phone there, so it's nice. All right, so here are the main use cases. There are many ways you can use liquid loans. So you can use it borrowing. You can lock up your existing PLS or Pulse tokens and mint your USDL loan, which is pretty nice. We saw that up here, so that was pretty cool. We're borrowing that. And of course, the redeem, you can unlock $1 worth of Pulse for one USDL in the future if you choose. Also earn, you can provide USDL to the stability pool for loan and PLS rewards. So you can get more rewards within the system, which is pretty neat. You don't even have to take the money away and buy stuff on PulseX or something like that. You can or trade it at an exchange to get some fiat money and buy a new car or something in the real world. So there's lots of different stuff there. You can actually just invest in the platform and ride the magic carpet ride or gravy train on that. So it's pretty neat. Stake loan to earn USDL and PLS from the borrowing fee. So there is a dual token on here with the loan token. So we'll talk more about that. So you can stake, and that stake's pretty powerful. So if you're really risk averse and you can just play the platform. If you're a bit more of a risk taker and you want to do other things with the USDL or whatever, you can go off and do that. And we're going to look at some of those strategies later on as well. So pretty cool. We're almost down to the bottom of the page, but how it works here is a simple breakdown of how the ecosystem works. You got to create a loan. You can open a vault, and we just saw that in the user interface at the top there. You can deposit PLS and receive USDL. That's really the basics. That's it. That's kind of it. And of course, you've got to make sure your collateral ratio is safe. And safe typically is maybe 1,000%. So it's like borrowing 10% almost against your asset. So if you had $1,000 borrowing like $100 worth kind of thing. Earn Pulse and a loan. So you can actually take that USDL, you can actually put it into what they call a stability pool, and you can deposit USDL and receive PLS and receive loan token, which is a second token on here. So it's a dual token platform. So there we are, you can earn that. And then of course you can take that and you can deposit the loan token in the loan staking. So pretty cool. So it's really three main features here: open a vault, the stability pool, and the loan staking. So you can deposit the loan, receive PLS, and receive USDL. And you could see that once you receive these tokens, of course, you can recycle them back as well. So you receive PLS here in the loan staking, you can put that way back into here and deposit the PLS. You see how it's sort of circular, because you're not going. There's going to be other people doing other stuff. They're not going to. So they may not just put it all in here. They may take it off to PulseX and buy up Pulse or buy Pulse. They're going to do other things. Swap it for fiat currency, whatever they're going to do. People are going to do a lot of different things on here. But the kind of if you want to call it the lower risk strategy is this: to stay in the platform and earn their tokens while everyone else does all the risk taking. They do all the risk taking, and you just sit back and you enjoy. That's kind of the one strategy you could think about taking if you're not, especially if you're not too familiar with a lot of stuff. That's an easy one to do. Cool. So what is the community saying? At 0% interest, the team has truly built this to benefit the community, and I for one am very grateful. It's like a dream. LY says, a brilliant, responsible way to use an asset that you no longer have to worry about selling. So many ways to diversify your investment and community driven at the same time. So very, very cool. So that there is an overview, folks, on the website. Now it's in the links in the video description, so you can check that out. Now we've done an overview, let me know what you think about the website there, because It's not, we're going to just slowly have a bit of a fun discussion. I don't want to just talk the whole thing. So we're going to actually have a look, because I know many of you probably had a look at it. Nicholas says, cheers from NL. And A says, LL, sounds like a headache. To be safe, you need 10x leverage to avoid liquidation, which is like a taxable event. That's true. And good luck trying to explain the crypto loan to tax-free to the tax man. And well, I think you can do it. I think that's not too much of a problem, but it's true that if you do get a liquidation, you probably have a taxable event in most jurisdictions. A says the best bet is to pull all your money in Richard Hart projects. Yeah, so that's the other alternative. Some people will do that. They'll just be risk averse, but we're going to look at some of the upside of liquid loans a bit later. But that's one side, it's one opinion on it, or one perspective. Alex says when used correctly, it's a huge pumperment for PLS breaks. So this is another perspective. So even without participating in liquid loan sacrifice or risking high leverage, yep. And it certainly is. I think it is certainly a big buying demand. Alex Case is reducing the need to sell PLS. Absolutely. So you're actually reducing the need to sell PLS, and also you're getting buying demand from it by leveraging the collateral that you've got. So it is actually a real big pumpamental for Pulse in particular. Obviously, other tokens will have an impact on those too, like PLX, for example. So no, I think that's definitely two good, strong perspectives. Thanks, A, and thanks, Alex, for that. So nice. Alex K says you can also use this as a stop loss to fix some of your PLS at the local top, and if it drops, you'll get liquidated. Can use their stablecoin to get more PLS at a cheaper price. Yeah, so that's the other side of it. If the price does go up and you get liquidated or stopped out, you can actually come in and with your USDL, you still got that. So even if your PLS gets liquidated, you still got your stable coins, and you can go buy PLS with that. And no doubt, if the price has fallen, that's why you got liquidated. And so you can actually use USDL that you've still got to go and buy PLS, and you might actually end up better off. So that does have that kind of play as well. Marco's in the house. Woohoo! Liquid. Will the fun ever stop? Yeah. Well, who knows? Hex Token says recycle. Yeah, so recycle is a really nice little strategy on the platform. I think that's a pretty cool way to go. And Hexidle says, where does the PLS go? Just gets locked in the contract, and it backs up the platform assets. All right, so there's the website, folks. I think it's pretty nice, pretty cool to see that, and fairly easy to look at and use. Once again, the biggest thing is always risk management, getting your collateral level right. That's the thing. And most people would go for probably 1,000%, which is 10%. You're just getting that extra bit of value you can add to accelerate your pumpamentals with volume and price, arguably. Now, obviously, if a whole group of people use the platform and colluded together to go and buy Pulse, for example, that could really have a big impact on the platform, with the only counter edge case being giant whales selling down Pulse. But once again, you still get the stable coin, and you could still end up buying back stuff. So it's quite an interesting play there. Let us look at the team. This is probably the other thing that you want to look at is the team. Who are the team? So we've got Christian Ulio here, co-founder and chief executive. Now, I've seen this guy on a few videos. He's a very, very nice guy, very well spoken, obviously very educated. So Christian has 20 years experience leading national and international consultancy teams across Australia, Asia Pacific, and the United States. Former partner of a major international audit, tax, and advisory practice. Christian has been a cryptocurrency and blockchain investor since 2017, and there's substantial positions in Hex and PulseChain. These are significant, and he's very, very cool. I don't know if you've seen a Crypto Heartbeat interview with him. He came across very well on there. There's Dave Corden, of course. More than 2 decades, Dave has held successful leadership roles throughout the Europe, Middle East, and Australia. He has extensive experience and knowledge of business operations and a deep understanding of marketing and branch management. Dave has been a crypto and blockchain investor since 2016. Has had some substantial positions in Hex and PulseChain, and he's very good too. He's on some of the promo videos on their YouTube channel. He's very good. So definitely check that out. Yeah, so and then there's Jesse Atkins, Head of Growth, Adoption, and Community, a former US Army Special Forces operator. Jesse has been proactive in crypto and blockchain since 2017 and currently manages a multi-million-dollar crypto asset portfolio. Jesse is a highly respected and extremely well-liked member of the Hex PulseChain community and is frequently consulted publicly for his knowledge, experience, and opinion. That's actually very good in the interviews. Done a lot of Q&A with him as well, so cool. There's Jeff Callahan, Head of Technology. Jeff specializes in complex problem solving and presenting detailed technical information, data, and processing in simple, easy to understand terms. Jeff has been a successful, highly motivated, successful crypto investor since 2017, and extensive experience operating in real estate, industrial warehouse management, and biomedical research. So it's pretty cool. And now Jeremy Jacker, a lot of people will know Jeremy Jacker. He's often on the Australian on Discourse Syndicate on the Australian show. He's head of security and planning, and is a very knowledgeable guy. Jeremy has a unique blend of technology skills and financial acumen, obtained over a number of decades since he spent in the IT sector. As a security specialist and business integration advisor, he has been involved in digital asset space since 2017 as an investor, educator, and advisor for global cryptocurrency education. Not sure if we go through all of those, but we definitely got Matt Cho there. He's probably the final one we'll look at. Matt has worked within the media industry for over a decade on a variety of productions in the UK, Europe, and Asia. His interest in finance started with precious metals and blue chip stocks and steadily progressed into crypto space. He's passionate about creating engaging content on DeFi and blockchain technology and is a public figure in the Hex and PulseChain community. Now, Matt is head of media now, and so he's pretty much running a lot of I guess all the social sites, including YouTube. He's a pretty hilarious kind of chap, very good at conveying as well. Then they have a lot of ambassadors here below. Hod Pro, of course, we've seen recently on the Hexpo conference, and then a few others here as well. Now we're going to look at Haunted here. He's an ambassador as well. We're going to look at Haunted. He's got a strategy that a lot of people, it's the basic use of the platform, and he's just showed how to use that. And so he's got a strategy there. So we're going to look at his strategy later on. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. Let's get into catch up with some of the comments maybe I got behind there. So those are the people in the team. So it's always good to look at the team and get comfortable with them, listen to them, and see stuff they're doing. So pretty cool. A says, what will happen if people use the line to buy more PLS and repeat? Won't that turn into a crap show? Well, it's going to be very bullish. It's going to be very bullish for the price, I would suggest. We're going to look at that, though. That is essentially the Haunted strategy. We're going to look at that later. Cardano TV says the whales may use it on a stop loss hunts to liquidate users and then pick up Hex for cheap. That's true too, Cardano. That's the only edge case that I can see, is that the undermining is a big enough whale, and there are big whales out there. But once again, if the price does go down to get liquidated, if you've got a high risk position in particular, you've still got the stable coins. So, and you can always buy Pulse with those. So assuming that you have already. But the problem is, if you've bought the Pulse with those and then you've put them into the portfolio and you maybe have done something else with them, that could put you in a bad position if you don't have the stable coins to go and buy Pulse. So just take that into account. Alex says, all depends on how much leverage is used. With low leverage, it's a valid and profitable strategy. And that's where I think that's where the Haunted strategy is involved. It's around about doing 1,000% collateral, so about 10%. Loaning on 10%, so I think that's a much more reasonable strategy. You'd have a pretty high price spike down. I think it's something like 98% or something to get that liquidated. But once again, you really wouldn't want to do 110%. It's a bit like margin trading at 10 for 1 or whatever. So it's not quite that bad, but it's pretty. You got to be careful. Alex says, CJ's in the house, good vibes. Hey, good to see you, CJ. And Cardano TV says, imagine the cascades that would happen. Yeah, well, it can be pretty powerful, especially the bigger the amount of people, and especially ultimately, as long as you don't have people start selling within the colluded group, as it were, which I think is where they're probably going to head with that. I think Magic Carpet Ride might try and do that sort of stuff as well. That team over there, Magic. Alex Casey says, Cardano TV, it uses PLS, not Hex, and there is no cascading liquidation since liquidated PLS does not sold. Yeah, so I was interpreting Cardano TV's stuff as going to buy Hex with with via the stable coin. There's a no cascading liquidations here. Tony says good thing also is that liquidated Pulse is not dumped in the market but shared to the stability providers, so no dump. Yeah, that's very true, Tony. So good point. I was going to talk about that later, but that is right. Jeremy is a Hexkin. Yeah, Jeremy is a Hexkin. Nice. And yeah, back here, Jeremy is over here. Yeah. Killer Beat says, have they got Richard Hart's backing? So I don't think Richard Hart doesn't typically give backing to third parties that I'm aware of, but happy to know that. But regardless of Richard Hart's backing, I think it's actually it fits in pretty well with the wider ecosystem. We're going to talk about that soon. Cool. Another Hexkin and Hodpro also. Yeah. So it's quite widely backed in the community. It's pretty popular, and I think that some people, and especially like the Magic Carpet Ride team, are going to use it to do mass market buying. So it could be pretty interesting. Certainly going to benefit, even if you don't get involved in it. It looks like it's going to benefit the pulse price for you, regardless if you get involved or not. Hex Hodl says another. Killer Pete says they got rich. Yeah, I think I went. Sorry, I jumped that back accidentally. Francia's in house. Hello, Hexkin. Hey, Francia, good to see you. And Alex K says RH won't officially back third-party projects. Yeah, it's a can of worms. Yeah, I agree. So that's why I know I've talked about that on this channel. You get used to if you're going to get a pretty good, awesome returns just by doing Richard Hart projects. If that's your expectation, and of course the track record of Hex kind of backs it up, as well as a lot of other stuff that Richard does, then that's the place you're going to get lots of X's potentially doing that, right? So you don't need to do third-party stuff, but third-party stuff, they're not all bad. Some of them can offer some really good value, and I think that Liquid Loans, on paper seems to have that so far. We're going to keep going, of course. We haven't finished, but that's where I would say. X Live says get him. Says Hex Live. Hey, Hex Live. Can we check the code? So I think some of the code is, I'm not sure if it's, I think it's on the GitLab. I think they published some of it maybe on a GitLab or something. Actually, I haven't checked that part, but they're definitely doing audits and stuff like that. But they have to explain a lot of the code to the audits. Javier says, will LO integrate other tokens within the PulseChain in the future, like Hex? I'm not sure what LO is there, Javier. I'm not sure. You have to let me know what LO is, because I'm not sure what that is. All right, so let us jump forward. So this is Liquid Loans on Twitter. It looks like they've got over 4,000 followers on there at the moment. They've had a couple of recent videos lately. Hoarded strategy under 3 minutes. We're going to have a brief look at the hoarded strategy. How did Liquid Loans website get sexy and sexier? Cool stuff like that. Trying to explain DeFi to your non-crypto friends. So you've got lots of stuff going on there at the moment on the Twitter. So let's jump over to the context side. This is where I think I've talked about this yesterday briefly, but I think that this is where Liquid Loans. So Richard Hart's built this awesome ecosystem with just amazing tokenomics in it, with the deflationary side, with the AMM bot and all that sort of stuff. Pretty exciting. But I do think that with Hex you've got like incredible savings, and then with the PulseChain you've got awesome network. With the PulseX Uniswap you've got awesome exchange, yield farming, and then of course I think Liquid Loans comes in. You've got lending, and that's where I think it comes in. So you've really got savings and lending is really a powerful DeFi offset. So that's how I kind of feel that fits in so well. And that's really covering the main DeFi stuff there as well. So it's cool. I think that's how I see it fitting in. Let's jump over to the docs. This is the documents area. You can actually get this on the website. I think it's on the knowledge base or learn. I can't remember which one that is. It might be the learn. Let me have a look at that. Learn on there. No, it's not the learn. It must be the knowledge base there, or the FAQs. I think it's knowledge base. Let's try the knowledge base. One of these ones. There, knowledge base. There we are. So that's the knowledge base page. So you click on knowledge base, and that will take you to this page here. We're just going to have a look at the ecosystem. So we're not diving too deep in today into all the details here, but we're going to look at the ecosystem, which is the overview. So we're going to look at that, and you can see this is the basic idea of Liquid Loans. So you've got your wallet over here. PulseChain's launch, you've got your Pulse. Basically, it's going to have to launch after PulseChain because it's going to need a couple of things to make the contracts work. They're going to need a Pulse price, and of course they're going to be able to get a good database for that, oracles or whatever, however they're going to get it through link or whatever. They're going to have to get good prices and stuff like that. So it won't be able to really launch until after PulseChain launch, so they have a price to work the platform with. So that's one thing they've got, and of course they'll still, arguably they'll still need that audited, right, just to have that checked if you're going to have a sound contract, because once they put the contract on the blockchain, it's gone. They can't do anything to it. They can't change it. They can't do anything. So they have to they've still got a bit of work to do behind that. So you start here with your wallet. You got your PLS comes in, and then you put your PLS into a vault, and then you take out USDL, the stable coin on the platform. And then you've got some options to do there. You can either go and spend it, and that means on anything, buying stuff on PulseChain, sending it to a centralized exchange or something. If they have the arrangements, they're looking at arrangements for that to the centralized exchange. And of course, you could then exit it out via fiat if you want to go buy a car, because your Pulse may just go up in value over time, right? So you may not have any issues with your collateral on that, and you can end up going buying a new car or something like that or whatever. So there is options like that, and if Pulse just keeps going up and to the right, then that would be the case. Obviously, it's going to have fluctuations, but that's kind of the way you do it. So you can spend it, you can take USDL and put it in stability pool, and of course you'll get out of there, you'll get PLS out of there. As earnings, and also your stability pool, you get a loan token as well, which is a second token as we talked about. You can go spend that, of course, or you can stake your loan token in the loan staking pool, and then also you'll get Pulse and USDL. Obviously, there's fees on the platform, so this is how these get funded, and there's liquidations and fees, so that's how these things get funded. And then, of course, USDL, you've got that as well. You can go back and recycle that back in. You also got PLS, you can go spend that, or you can recycle that back in as well. So you can see the recycles are the powerful part, particularly if you're looking at staying on the platform. You don't have to go off and spend your stuff. You can just keep it all, and then you can just recycle this PLS. You can also lower your collateral ratio with it as well. PLS going into here, and then of course it will lower your collateral ratio. So it depends on what you want to do. Typically, these things you keep adding on to them. So it's got some cool stuff in there, and then spend like that. So that is basically how it works, folks. And you basically can see how all these tokens, you're going to get those and do arguably really well, assuming nothing cataclysmic happens to Pulse or something like that. So I think looks pretty cool, pretty simple to use. Let's have a look at the second one. Second one is this is probably the key thing, the key outtakes. This is what you want to do. So create a vault by depositing PLS, which will give you the ability to mint USDL. The fees will be PulseChain gas fee, so very cheap on that. So this is kind of the benefits row here. That's the fees. Borrow against my PLS in my vault. You'll get USDL to use as you like. There's a gas fee, very cheap. Borrowing fee 0.5% to 5%. Most times it's going to be 0.5%, so just take that into account, that fee. So depending on what risk taking you're taking, that would be important or not. 200 USDL liquidation reserve, fully refundable. And then you can also add USDL to the stability pool, as we talked about, and that will get you rewards and loan and liquidation proceeds. So that's what stability pool gets you by putting USDL in there. So you'll get the rewards and loan and liquidation proceeds in PLS. So it's pretty cool. Could be a pretty cool form of income there. PulseChain gas fee, very cheap. Withdraw USDL from the stability pool. So you could take your stuff out of there. You can use your USDL for whatever you want. Very cheap PulseChain fee. You can stake your loan token, of course, because you get loan tokens here and rewards from the stability pool. Rewards in USDL and PLS. So it's pretty cool. And the PulseChain gas fee there, so nice. And then withdraw PLS from my vault. My PLS back to use as I like. PulseChain, very cheap. Redeem USDL for Pulse. The opportunity for arbitrage gains. And you've got a very cheap fee there and a redemption fee as well. So take that into account. So you got a borrowing fee over here for borrowing against the vault, and you got a redemption fee here for that if you want to try and do that to redeem the USDL for Pulse. So that's some of the key benefits there. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what you think about that. Javier says liquid loans. Oh, I see. Will liquid loans integrate other tokens within the Pulse chain in the future like Hex? I don't believe so. But once again, I don't know what their roadmap is. he means liquid loans. 10% says Pulse Sexual. Yeah, 10%. I think so. I think 10% is probably a reasonable strategy to go with. It'd be 1,000% collateral, if I'm interpreting you right there. Alex K says, if things go well with PLS, they may support other coins in time. That's true. That's what I mean. They might have a roadmap like that. It just has to be high quality, hard to manipulate coin. True. Hex Token says, also Hedron. Yeah, Hedron as well. We're going to briefly talk about Hedron just at the end, but we're actually going to talk about that in another live stream. And then Kadar TV says, hoping the third-party projects will be massive as it will pump my Hex, Pulse, and PulseX. And that's a really good point, Kadar TV. So you can do nothing with liquid loans. And of course, if they do get teams up, like Magic Carpet Ride team is doing, doing the sacrifice to get higher volume multiplier, and they also seem to be going. They're going to go into liquid loans. They just did a video yesterday saying they're going to go to liquid loan sacrifice. They're doing the PulseChain sacrifice at the moment. Sorry, PulseX sacrifice at the moment. Doing this, so that these teams are setting themselves with the up with a sort of a credibility that you can actually go with them. You won't get rugged and stuff. So that's still to be seen. Still to see those play out, but that looks like that. If, all going well, that will happen. And of course, they'll end up also looking at potentially doing this hoarded strategy. I think they're going to probably look at doing that. That means that a couple of thousand people going in to buy Pulse, they're going to put their Pulse in, is the way I think they might play it out, and get the USDL out and go and buy some Pulse, push that Pulse price up, and play the hoarded strategy. And like I say, the only edge case risk I see to that is some giant whale deciding to take profits, and possibly even if not exit, then take profits and play the big game. So we'll see whether that happens or not. For Hex, use Hedron. Yeah, so that's right. So there is Hedron. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Alex K says, one thing to keep in mind with this project is that it's a fork of something that's already works on ETH. That's right, it is. And some other chains, they are not reinventing this from scratch. Yeah, that's right. So that is true. And that's currently, so this project's currently working on Ethereum at the moment. Seems to be doing all right. I think it'll do even better on the PulseChain. Hex price appreciation will trump all, says CJ. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's the one thing I've been thinking about lately, is that might surprise a lot of people with the Hex price appreciation. Yeah, let's have a look here. So those are the key things there. Now there's lots of other stuff in here. I'm not going to go through all that. The only thing I'd probably just touch on here quickly is the audits, liquidity. So you can actually read a lot of the stuff yourself, but I will probably do a second live stream on the more detailed stuff. So audits liquid loans protocol on PulseChain is a fork of liquid protocol on Ethereum. Sorry, liquidity protocol on Ethereum. That's what Alex was just saying. And here it's all risks of that protocol. The liquid loans development team has only made the necessary changes to liquidity's original set of smart contracts to ensure it operates successfully on PulseChain. Liquid loans protocol will be professionally third-party audited, and full report will be made publicly available before deployment. And like I say, they still need PulseChain to launch, so they've got some prices and stuff to draw from for Pulse and stuff. So it's still a little bit of work to do from that point of view, but it will be, probably won't be too long after the mainnet launches. I don't know, so maybe April, May, somewhere in that mark, probably. We advise and strongly recommend you review the following liquidity audits until the liquid loans audit is made available. So that's how they've got those two audits for the original contract, but they're going to get their own one done as well. So once again, they're going to need those price things, I would have thought, to get the audit approved. So that's where that's at. Then they've got the deployment. Obviously, the deployment is their loan lockup. So some loan is reserved for the teams and advisors and is locked up for a minimum of 1 year for system deployment. So in the first year after launch, all team members and advisors are unable to access their locked loan tokens. So that's good to see. And the liquidity loans admins access may transfer tokens only to verified lockup contracts with an unlock date at least 1 year after system deployment. Also, separate loan allocations are made at deployment to a EOA, an externally owned account that will hold an amount of loan for bug bounties, hackathons, and to a liquid an LP reward contract, which is the other thing, to set up liquidity pools. Aside from these allocations, at this stage, the only loan made freely available in the first year is the loan that is publicly issued to stability providers. All right, so cool. Note that Liquid Loans admin access has no extra privileges and does not retain any control whatsoever over the Liquid Loans protocol once deployed. Now, I'm not actually sure what the amount the team gets for the reserve, so I haven't actually seen that number. So if you have seen that number, let me know in the video description. But that's there. So we've gone through the ecosystem. We've gone through the just briefly looked at the order and the deployment. You can check out a lot of this other stuff here. We probably will go through that maybe on a second live stream. Go for that next level, and that is kind of a good overview for the Liquid Loans. Let's jump over to did I do deployment? Yeah, I did deployment already. So cool. All right, so we're going to look at some of the ways that people might want to use this, and of course the Hoarded strategy is the one that seems to be pretty popular. It's kind of a logical flow on from the mechanisms that we get in here. I'm just going to jump back to the ecosystem and just pop this back up. So it's kind of a logical flow of this. This is basically how the system works. It's pretty, you get your pulse, you get USDL, you put your pulse in the vault, get some USDL. You can spend it or put it in the stability pool. And of course, in stability pool, you're going to get loan token and PLS token. And then, of course, with your loan token, you can put into loan staking. And of course, you'll get PLS and USDL. And basically, it's funded through liquidity, liquidations, and through fees, right? Because everything's got fees for the vault, you got fees for redemption. So that's where the stuff comes from, basically. Cool. So here is the Hoarded strategy. So how to use the Hoarded strategy, basic edition, and this is where I think maybe possibly the Magic Carpet Ride team might try and use this here. So you start with PulseChain, and then you connect to Liquid Loans DApp and create a vault by depositing PLS. So we've already looked at that. You'll mint 10% of your dollar value of your deposited Pulse in USDL, and so you are 100% collateralized, and that's basically a 10% value. So it's kind of a reasonably safe value. I mean, think about it. And only extreme market conditions would really trip you out of that. Go to PulseX and use your USDL to buy Pulse. So it's basically the idea. So we talked about that. Deposit this new Pulse that you bought in the vault. So you already put your original capital in the vault, and of course then you deposit the one that you bought. You took 10% in USDL. You went and bought more Pulse. You deposit that 10% of Pulse into your vault, and so you're adding it up. Wait for PLS to go up in value. So you have to be patient and wait for the price to go up in value, maybe 10%, and then you can mint 10% more. So you're now really just layering this stuff on. Loan PLS again. You are 1,000% collateralized, and then you go up because the price goes up. It means it changes your collateralized amount. Keeps you at that 1,000, so you can borrow another. You'll be over 1,000%, so you can borrow another 10% in USDL, sorry, and you can then go to PulseX and use that USDL to buy more PLS. Deposit this into the vault again, and then you can rinse and repeat. Make sure to stay above or circa 1,000% collateralized. So that is it. That's the basic logic. I mean, it is the basic logic of the flow if you think about it. That's the basic logic of this. You take USDL, you go spend it. When you say spend it, and you're talking about going buying more PLS on PulseX and then putting it back in the vault and going around in circles. That's basically what that strategy is doing there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you're just adding the extra bit of value really with relatively low risk. Obviously not nothing certain, but relatively low risk as opposed to doing 110% collateralized, and you could easily get liquidated on that. So cool. OBX says looking like supply shortage may be kicking in already. Yeah. On the Hex, yeah, Hex is king, but other things keep you busy while we wait for our cookies stacks. Yeah, that's true. I like that. Yeah. So we'll go back to here. So this is what I'm talking about. So obviously, for me, Hex is king too. But we've got PulseX, we've got Pulse on the PulseChain. So we've got everything. We've got savings, exchange, and network. That's going to be awesome. But this lending definitely has its own DeFi functionality, and you can actually use that to actually leverage your asset base and buy more Pulse and more of the good stuff that you like as well. So it's pretty cool. But there is, like I say, I think the only education I can think of is a whale, a big whale, if they were aware of what was happening, or they just happened to they had so much in their bags that they could really smash things around. That's about the only thing. But I think there's going to be so much buying demand. I think it's going to be pretty difficult. But this adds a whole nother form of demand if you think about it, especially if people collude together, like possibly Magic Carpet Ride might. to go and execute that haunted strategy. Really, it could pump the bags, and you don't even have to be involved in liquid loans. You're just going to benefit. You're going to benefit if you're holding Pulse from their activity. So they may get the upside on the volume because they're using the actual liquid loans platform, but you'll get the benefit on the price, which is pretty cool. All right, so the other thing, of course, if the price of Pulse goes down, they still, if they haven't spent the USDL, they've still got some of that to buy. So it's a give or take. It depends on what they've done as an individual. So here is the so this is the strategy, the haunted strategy, and of course here is the spreadsheet that they've used. And I will put the links of this. I think I put them in the video description, so I'm pretty sure I did. But I put the links in here. So this is the video. That's the link that they have. So it's got the initial investment. In this case, 21,000, which seems like a pretty good number to start with. Obviously, you can start with anything, but this would get you up to a certain place fast. They've got the base price of Pulse here at 00017 from the looks of it, and loan amount 10%. So that's that really low. Keep your collateralization at 1,000 to get to 10%. They got the number of units of Pulse there, 123 million there. Is that right? Yeah, okay. I thought that would be higher, but okay. They've got that amount there, and so you've got 1x as the starting price there, so same price as at the I guess the assumptions tab there or whatever. They've got 1x, so the price just hasn't changed in price on Pulse. They got the $125,000. They borrowed 10%. That's $2,100. So they got the total loan of $2,100. That means that their value without loan is $21,000. With the loan is $23,100. I'm not sure if you need that column, but maybe you maybe do with the loan. And then, of course, the units is 123 million Pulse loan added. So they've added, they go and buy Pulse with their loan, and they get another 12.3 million Pulse added. So obviously the Pulse price goes up. They've just bought 12 million more Pulse. Price goes up. They're going to make more money because they got more volume. That's basically the whole coolness of using the lending feature. This lending feature here. This one here, this lending. So it's just to do that. So you're lending, you just basically buy more volume, and if the price goes up, you get volume times price. That's it. That's pretty much how it works there. So it's pretty cool. If you think about it in Hex, of course, Hex, you get all the the inflation and penalties as well. So you kind of get that's where you get the volume. So Richard often talks about, yeah, price might have gone up 10,000x, but if you were staking, you would have been up 20,000x, right? So that's kind of that idea. So it's pretty cool. You get more wealthy. You get wealthier pretty much faster. It's pretty impressive. All right, so you got total units there. So you got your starting units 123 plus 12 million that you bought. So you end up with 135 million. Very cool. You got buying 2.1 million there. You have to pay some fees, and those fees obviously circle back around on the platform if you've got some in the other parts. So the fees that you pay go back, get into the stability pool and the loan staking and stuff like that. So very cool. So the fees that you're adding up here. All right, so if the price goes up, of course, so that's just the starting price. If the price goes up by 10%, the price will now be 0001870. So that means now that the value of your loan, $23.1 million. $23,100. Sorry, I'm so used to talking about millions and billions when I'm talking about X. So, but excuse me for that loan. So 400. You can now borrow another some more money now. Now the price is going up, so you can get an extra $441 more. Sorry, and that will take your total loan to $2,500 now. It's because the price went up for you, and now your value without the loan is $25,410. But with the new loan, it's going to be $25,851. You're now going to have, you're starting with 135 million units, but you're going to add another 2.3 million units. And so now you're going to have 138 million units. So you're already getting a lot more Pulse tokens. And of course, you're playing on the fact that the price goes up, but also it is kind of a little bit self-fulfilling, because if everybody is going to put the Pulse in here and borrow against the USDL, they can all go and buy Pulse and move the price up. It's kind of somewhat self-fulfilling, but once again, the only edge case is that the market with big whales possibly smash the price down. That's possible, but then this is 1,000% collateralized, so you got a bit of room there. yeah, so that you got some more fees and stuff. So that's what's going there. All right, so then obviously the price goes up another 10% to, so it's up to 20% now, and it's down. So the price has gone up to 0002, and this is just on these examples here. Of course, they're not real numbers on the price, so just take into account. But it is, if the price was that, this is how it would work. So you got value with the loan 25,400. You can now borrow another $302, keeping your collateralization at 1,000%. And you've got a loan of 2,800, etc., and that goes to 28,400. With the loan, you got 28,735, and your units are now 138 as the starting amount, 138 million. You add another 1.5 million, and your total is now 139 million units. Now that just basically keeps repeating. You're going to pay some fees, of course, as you go, but you can see that you're going to keep borrowing. As the price goes up 10%, you're going to keep borrowing all this, and your value, the amount of Pulse tokens you're going to keep getting, is this going to keep going up. That's basically the idea, how this is working. So yeah, that's pretty much that on that. Obviously, if the price goes down, you got to go a bit the other way, I guess. OBX says got that right, and fractionalized reserve system, we're forking the feds. Yeah, that's right. Hex is the king. Yeah, so this mechanism is pretty much probably used by a lot of big financial wig pigs, as we call it. So you know, they do that. All right, so we've had a quick look at the overview of the site. Of the website, and we've got a basic idea that looks like it's going to be a contract that runs itself. Looks kind of cool. There's opportunity for people to get to leverage against their asset and actually buy more Pulse and ride the Pulse price chain. And then obviously they've got quite a few people following them on that. It really does add a decent functionality within the wider ecosystem, even though it's not a Richard Hart project. It does serve a fundamental DeFi functionality and actually kind of completes the system in some ways. Then, of course, this is how it works. Very, very cool. This is the Hoarded strategy, basically taking the USDL that you get from your PLS, but keeping your collateralization at 1,000% so that it's low risk, basically like a 10%, just lending 10% against your assets, and then using that to increase your Pulse units, as we saw. We saw here, it's basically every time the price goes up 10%, you're sending more Pulse units, and you only store at 1,000% collateral. So you're only store ever borrowing 10% against your total asset value of Pulse that you've got in there. So it's a relatively low risk, but you're increasing your volume. Obviously, the price goes up 10x on your value. You know, you're getting way up here in the numbers, so it gets pretty big. So when is the sacrifice? They've got a sacrifice. Sacrifice is not started. Be aware of scams, of course. Important disclaimer: if you choose to sacrifice, you must have no expectation. So running pretty similar to Richard, but they've got some different things. And an act of free speech, like-minded community members, may show their disapproval and rejection of corporate-owned centralized stablecoins, but sacrificing them in the hope of different community-owned trustless algorithmic stablecoins that will emerge. This is where the USDC, USDT type centralized stablecoins versus DAI versus USDL here. So it's kind of the thing. Sacrifice adheres to the premise of absolutely no promises or the work of others, and only hope that something better may materialize. Sorry, from the PulseChain. Also, the sacrifice is modeled after key Richard Hart principles of delayed gratification, fairness, and community commitment. Now, it is going to be a bit different, the sacrifice, when it does open. To achieve these goals, points will be rewarded with the following guidelines. Sacrifice should be made from the Ethereum mainnet. USDC, USDT, TUSD, BUSD, and DAI will count towards the sacrifice points. You must, so not Hex. There's no Hex in this because they don't want to hurt the Hex price, of course, by getting people selling that more Hex stakes. Or more Hex, I should say, doing sell pressure. Your sacrifice must come from your wallet and not from an exchange. That's probably the main thing. Each stable sacrificed will be awarded 10,000 sacrifice points. So pretty easy. Oh, sorry, I'm moving around there with the, might use that, it's a bit easier. Sacrifice address should be verified across various platforms for commencement of the sacrifice period. So that's that. So you want to make sure that you are getting the official links for the sacrifice. Bonus and multipliers, so it's going to work a bit different. Earlier pays better. There will be a period of 5 days at the beginning where all points will receive a max early pays better bonus. After this period, the bonus will decrease daily until near zero. yeah, so this is obviously earlier pays better on that one. And then bigger pays better. All sacrifices and their bonuses will be totaled. And there's a few spelling. No, that looks all right. I said another L in that letter. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be another L. Will be totaled and stake ranked. State ranked by sending another address. A multiplier will be applied for each point, starting from the largest sacrifice point address to the smallest. And earlier pays better, bigger pays better, longer pays better. There will be the ability to lock up your points for a period of up to 2 years. So this is where it differs from Richard Hart's sacrifice system, because they got longer pays better. The longer you lock up your points, the larger your delayed gratification bonus. The allocation token supply will increase with each sacrifice point awarded. Further details about the sacrifice start date and duration will be published soon. Please return to the website for more information. And important disclaimer: if you choose to sacrifice, you must have no expectation of profit. The sacrifice is not started. Beware of scams. So that apparently could start any time. That's what we've basically been told about that. So it's a sacrifice there. All right, so that's pretty cool on that. So that there, folks, is a bit of an overview of liquid loans. Thanks for everybody's input, and there's some really good points made, and so a couple of different perspectives. Obviously, you can be a Richard Hart maxi, and I'm a Richard Hart maxi, but you can also allocate, if you wanted, you can always allocate a small percentage of your portfolio to something like this if you wanted to. So if you're more conservative, obviously, if you like to take, if you see the logic of this, which is pretty obvious, the logic's looks pretty good, then you could use it to get a little bit of lending out of it and go and get more pulse or something like that. Also get into the platform, earn from other people. Maybe some people take too many risks, they get liquidated. You can earn the benefit of that, those risk taking, and get those fees on the platform. So there's other ways of doing it too. So something interesting there. Yeah, I think it looks pretty attractive. We'll see. We're going to keep following this, of course. We'll probably do a more deep dive on another live stream, and we'll definitely have a look at the sacrifice when it comes out as well. So very, very cool. Also, always make sure you use official links, of course, from the home website here. You can go to Connect under Company, and you'll see Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, Medium, YouTube, and Telegram for the official links there. Very, very cool. And they've got lots of extra information here I didn't actually go through. Lots of videos too on YouTube. Very, very cool. All right, so let's jump over to Hedron. Now we're gonna go through this probably on another video, but this is basically taking advantage of your Hex stakes maturity, trade it, borrow against it, and get free liquidity. So this is another opportunity as well. This is optional, of course, but we're going to go through this on another live stream, and that should be fun too. So stay tuned for that. So we will be covering Hedron for those who wanted to look at it. It should be pretty good. Easy says, how can we sacrifice it? Well, we're waiting for the official announcement. So just go on and you know, pretty much sign up to Telegram and or Twitter as well. So Telegram, Twitter, probably good places, and YouTube, probably some good ones there. But once again, just to wait for the official announcements, and keep track of it. That's the way I'd put it. Oh, not out yet. I see. Yeah, not out yet. There, easy. So cool. Hopefully that's been a bit of fun. Yeah, but definitely we're going to go through Hedron on another live stream, and it'll be a bit of fun too. And we'll definitely keep track of liquid loans. I do think it's offers, as I say, offers an important function, and it could actually do some pretty cool things for Pulse, and possibly even other tokens, in terms of being in just another source of buying. So it's going to be pretty cool. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. We did it close to an hour, so that's not bad. Michael says, so we pay back the loan with the USDL amount borrowed? Yes, you can. So the USDL will be, you'll be able to claim back your Pulse with the $1 value, USD $1 value of USDL. If you want to actually go the other way, so if you want to pay that back, where's this thing here? So if you put your PSL on the vote, you can actually claim that back with your Vault amount. I think we had that on the UI as well. Let me put that up. Yeah, so you can do redemptions here and get that back as well. Now I think there's a small fee for the redemption. I think it was 0.5%. I think it was 0.5% on there. I think that's also on the, what's the other line there? That's all right. Just get out here. Wasn't going to go too much in here to redemptions, price of stuff here. How does a USDL closely follow the price of USD? So you might want to read these. What is USDL token redemption? So you can definitely check this out to get more details on that. But we're going to look at that on another live stream, probably go into deeper dive. This is really just an overview. Very, very cool. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Hey, this is the earliest live stream I've done on here. I think I actually did one other. I did the PulseX launch the first day. I was first out with that one, and that was pretty cool. All right, thanks for watching all, and I'm going to do my daily Hex vid. It's coming up today, and of course we're doing PulseX live stream later on today. So we've got two more videos coming out today on this channel. Should be a lot of fun. Hey, take care, everybody. I'm going to have some breakfast or lunch. I'm not sure. It's actually lunchtime, but I'll probably end up having breakfast. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, take care about there. Hey, good to see you, Alex, and to John as well. Nice. All right, let me find the old. Let's go finish this poll first. We've got a poll. Might as well end the poll there. We've got 63 votes, folks. So let's see what the poll results are. Hex Hodl says, nice daily vids. Always, yeah, that's right. Nice daily vids. We can see what the poll results are, folks. We haven't quite finished yet. We've still got a, yeah, it's just hit 1 hour, but we'll wait for the poll. All right, so the poll is, will you do a sacrifice for liquid loans when it opens? Maybe still researching, 44%. And I'm still in that camp, right? I'm still in that camp. I am happy with my PulseX, 31%. And yes, I have done my research, 20%. Nope, I have done my research. So some people, 3% have done research. Nope, so that's kind of the results there at the moment. So cool. Francia's got the Hello Hexkin. Hey, Francia again. Good to see you back. Very nice. All right, so that's it, folks. Wait for the daily video. It's coming out. How long away? About an hour and 30 minutes. We'll have the daily Hex vid. And on PulseChain, that's a daily update. And then obviously, probably another 4 hours, 4 hours and 50 minutes, we'll be having PulseX live. Yeah. All right. I look forward to it. I actually really enjoy them. So I hope you do too. All right. Take care now. Bye for